Today we're going to be talking about oyster mushroom cultivation in 5-gallon buckets. Now, typically the industry standard is to use either chopped straw or cottonseed hulls that you pasteurize and then pack into either bucket or sleeves to get some nice oyster mushroom flushes. Today we're going to be talking about Aspen Shavings and using that as an alternative substrate. Now, the reason we're going to look at Aspen Shavings is for two reasons. The first one being accessibility. You can find this Aspen Shavings or small pet bedding at any local hardware stores or pet supply stores always has it. And the second reason is that it doesn't require any pasteurization. It doesn't require any hot pasteurization or a cold lime soak. All you need to do is boil water, dump the shavings in, and let it sit until cool. For this project, you'll first need a 5-gallon bucket. It is important that you have a lid for this bucket, so just make sure whatever pail comes with a lid. You will also need a 12.5 or 12 millimeter drill bit so you can drill holes into the bucket. You're going to want to drill them in a diamond-shaped pattern with each hole being approximately 6 inches apart. You will also need a large pot in order to rehydrate your Aspen Shavings. Finally, you will need your grain spawn. Today we are going to be using pink oyster grain spawn. However, this method is also compatible with other oyster strains such as Pohu or Grey Dove. Today we're going to be using pink just as it is a more heat tolerant oyster mushroom strain and it's in the middle of July. 1 4-pound unit of grain spawn will inoculate 2 5-gallon buckets. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is fill your large pot with water. This pot is large enough that we really only have to fill it to about here. You can also do this in 2 larger pots if you don't have one big pot, but for ease we do have a large pot, so we are just going to be using this today. While your water is boiling, you can actually get your Aspen Shavings ready to dump in the pot, or pots if you're using more than one. The way I do this is I actually just fill up the bucket with the amount of shavings that I'm going to be using. I don't go all the way to the top with this. I only go to about here with those Aspen Shavings. Once your water has boiled, all you have to do is pour the Aspen Shavings into your pot. Wait for this to cool and then we'll inoculate. Alright, now that our chips have cooled and rehydrated, we are ready to inoculate our bucket. Typically we let these sit at least 8 hours, sometimes anywhere 8 to 12 hours is perfect to allow these Aspen Shavings to totally rehydrate and also to cool down. So for this part of the project, you want to drain your Aspen Shavings. What I like to do is I like to just kind of put the lid askew so you can get the water out but leave the shavings in and then dump it. Now that your Aspen Shavings are drained, it is time to layer the spawn and the shavings in your bucket. Again, you only need about half of this. This is a 4-pound unit and you only need 2 pounds. You can take the time to measure it out or you can just eyeball it. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to open your bucket and do everything in about 2-inch layers for the shavings. So you're just going to take some. Again, make sure to wash your hands before this so they're nice and clean. Just sort of put some of those Aspen Shavings into the bucket. Take some spawn, pour it in there, and then continue to layer it like this. Layer it just like a parfait. So once you get to this point, make sure the Aspen Shavings are your top layer, not spawn, to prevent it from drying out. Take your cap, take your lid, place it on the bucket. So you're going to go ahead, take this bucket and put it really in any forgotten corner of your house will work, and let the spawn fully colonize those Aspen Shavings. You're going to see pinning in this bucket anywhere from 14 to 21 days, depending on what oyster mushroom strain you use. And so once you get to that time frame, just keep an eye on it. And once you notice it start to pin, you're going to want to move it to an area that has some indirect light, and then just let it grow. Give it a try, let us know how it goes. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and happy growing.